Most people completely misunderstand what it actually means to register a company in a country like Yemen. And that misunderstanding often leads to one major outcome. They assume it is either impossible, overly simple, or the same as registering a business anywhere else in the world. But the truth is far more complex and far more interesting. Because if you look closely at Yemen's business environment, you discover something most global entrepreneurs never expect. Even in challenging economic conditions, formal company structures still exist, legal registration systems still function, and foreign participation is still possible in certain sectors when done correctly. And that is where the real story begins. Imagine Michael, an American freelance consultant, who works remotely with clients across the Middle East. He hears about opportunities in reconstruction, logistics, and import services in Yemen. At first, he dismisses it. He assumes it is too complicated, too risky, or too unstable for formal business setup. But then he meets Sarah, who runs a small international trading company. She tells him something that changes his perspective completely. She says, "The countries everyone ignores are often the ones where structure matters the most." That line stays with him. Because here's the surprising truth nobody talks about. In markets that are less saturated, formal business structures can actually give you more leverage, not less. When competition is low, but demand exists, having a legally registered entity becomes a powerful advantage. And that is how Michael starts looking into the idea of forming an LLC equivalent in Yemen. But here's where things get interesting. The first thing he learns is that Yemen does not use the term LLC in the exact same way as the United States or other Western jurisdictions. Instead, the closest equivalent is typically a limited liability company structure under Yemeni commercial law, which is designed to separate personal liability from business obligations while still operating within local legal frameworks. And that small detail already changes everything. Because it means you are not just creating a company. You are entering a specific legal system with its own rules, requirements, approvals, and administrative steps. And if you do not understand that system, you do not just slow yourself down. You risk rejection delays, or a structure that does not function for banking or operations. So let's walk through this step by step, in a way that feels real, structured, and practical. Michael begins with what he assumes is the easiest part: choosing a business activity. But this is where the first reality check happens. In Yemen, your business activity must align with approved commercial classifications. That means you cannot simply say consulting or e-commerce in a vague way. You often need to define your activity clearly, sometimes even aligning it with local licensing categories depending on the sector. And this is where many beginners make their first mistake. They assume business registration is universal. It is not. David, another entrepreneur in our story, learns this the hard way when he tries to register a general trading company without clearly defining import categories. His application is delayed because authorities require more precise documentation about what goods or services the company will actually handle. And suddenly, the process becomes more serious than expected. But here's the insight that shifts everything. In structured legal systems, clarity is protection. The government is not trying to block businesses. It is trying to define responsibility, taxation, and regulatory oversight. Once Michael understands that, he stops seeing the process as a barrier and starts seeing it as a framework. So the next step is choosing a company name. At first glance, this sounds simple. But in practice, it requires compliance with naming regulations. The name must not conflict with existing companies, must align with commercial naming standards, and in some cases, must reflect the business activity. Zara compares it to domain name registration, but with legal consequences. And she is not wrong. Because once the name is approved, it becomes part of your legal identity in the country. But here's where things get more important. After name approval comes documentation, preparation. This is where most foreign entrepreneurs underestimate the complexity. To register a company in Yemen, you typically need identity documents, shareholder information, business descriptions, and in many cases notarized or authenticated paperwork, depending on your nationality and structure. Michael initially assumes he can submit digital copies and be done. But here's the problem. Legal systems that rely heavily on formal verification often require certified documents, sometimes even consular legalization, depending on where the documents originate. And this is where delays begin for many applicants. David experiences this directly. He submits incomplete documentation, thinking he can correct it later. Instead, his application is paused until all legal requirements are met. And that pause costs him weeks. But there is a smarter way to handle this. Successful applicants prepare everything in advance, ensuring documents are properly certified, translated if required, and aligned with local administrative expectations before submission. Once documentation is complete, the next major step is drafting the company agreement. This is where the real structure of your LLC equivalent begins to take shape. The agreement defines ownership, profit distribution, management roles, and liability protections. And this is where Sarah pauses, because she realizes something important. This document is not just administrative. It is strategic. It determines how control is distributed, how decisions are made, and how disputes are resolved. And if done poorly, it can create long-term operational problems. So instead of rushing, she focuses on clarity. Michael does the same. He defines ownership structure carefully, ensuring that if he expands later or brings in partners, the framework will still work. And here's the mini payoff moment. Once the agreement is properly drafted and signed, the company moves one step closer to formal registration approval. But we are still not finished. Because now comes the registration authority stage. In Yemen, company registration is handled through official government commercial registries. This is where the business becomes legally recognized. But approval is not automatic. Authorities review documentation, confirm compliance, and ensure the business structure aligns with legal requirements. And this is where patience becomes essential. But here's where it gets interesting. Many people assume this is the hardest part. In reality, it is only one part of a larger system. Because even after registration, there are additional steps that determine whether your company is actually usable. And that brings us to taxation and licensing. Once registered, a company must typically obtain tax identification and comply with national tax obligations. This may include registration with tax authorities and periodic reporting depending on activity type. Sarah notices something important here. Even in complex environments, formal tax registration actually provides legitimacy. It allows the company to operate legally, issue invoices, and interact with institutions. And that legitimacy becomes critical when dealing with banks or partners. Now let's talk about one of the most misunderstood parts of the entire process. Banking.d. Because here is the reality most guides do not explain clearly. A registered company without banking access is not fully operational. And in Yemen, banking access can involve additional verification steps, identity confirmation, and in some cases enhanced due diligence depending on ownership structure and business activity. Michael initially assumes he can simply connect his company to an international payment processor. But he quickly learns that banking systems require alignment between registration documents, ownership structure, and compliance verification. And this is where many entrepreneurs either adjust their expectations or restructure their approach. But there is another layer to consider. Operational presence. Depending on your business type, physical or local representation may be required or strongly recommended. This is especially relevant for industries involving trade, logistics, or services tied to local markets. David realizes this when he explores import opportunities. He understands that having local connections or representatives can significantly improve operational efficiency. And this leads to a key insight. Registering a company is not just about legal formation. It is about building a functioning business ecosystem that can operate within local realities. Now, let's step back and look at the full process clearly. You begin with selecting your business activity and defining it properly. Then you choose and reserve your company name. You prepare legally compliant documentation. You draft and sign the company agreement. You submit everything to the commercial registry for approval. Once approved, you complete tax registration and then move into banking setup and operational structuring. Each step builds on the previous one. And if one step is incomplete or inaccurate, the entire structure becomes unstable. But when done correctly, you end up with a legally recognized business entity, capable of operating within the Yemeni legal framework. Now here is the final turning point in our story. Michael, Sarah, and David each complete their company registration journey. But their outcomes differ based on one key factor: preparation. Michael succeeds because he treated the process as a structured legal system, not a shortcut. Sarah succeeds because she focused on strategic clarity in her company agreement. David eventually succeeds after correcting early documentation mistakes. And all of them learn the same lesson. In international business registration, especially in complex or emerging markets, success is not about speed. It is about alignment with the legal system you are entering. So if you are considering registering an LLC equivalent in Yemen, the most important shift you can make is this. Stop thinking in terms of forms and paperwork. Start thinking in terms of systems, compliance, and long-term operational structure. Because once you understand that, the entire process stops being confusing and starts becoming navigable. And if you found this guide helpful and want more clear, practical breakdowns of how international company formation actually works in real markets, make sure to subscribe for more in-depth guides like this.